Welcome once again to another episode of Stu Him Productions Presents.
J&M, solve the world. I am James.
And I am Matt, and we are coming to you live tonight from the J&M Bar and Lounge. You have tuned in for the special Father's Day episode, and we are trying out new equipment, and I'm thinking it's going pretty well.
So far, so good.
Tonight's cigars are the Groovy Blues. Tatiana's Groovy Blues. Wow. So,
very good little cigar. They have the bigger sizes too, which is what we had
the first time.
Yeah.
But I got these because I know we weren't going to be doing a podcast for hours on end.
Right.
And I really I hated relighting a cigarette. Mm-hmm. And that's the last thing I want to do is relight a cigar.
Although you did the next day out in the garage. Was it those, or it was one of the bigger cigars we had?
Oh, yeah.
And I was out there doing something, and you relit your cigar.
Yeah.
It's not as good as the first time.
No.
But
still pretty good.
Still pretty tasty.
So tonight, we're going to get into Father's Day. Unfortunately, you lost your father many years ago.
It's hard to believe. It's 29 years this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fortunately for myself, I do still have my father.
Yep.
We are both fathers in our own rights.
Right.
You're a G dad.
Yep.
I am a grandpa, kind of.
Your daughter doesn't have any children.
No. My biological daughter does not have any children, but both of my adopted daughters both do have children.
Are they really adopted, or you just claim them?
I just claim them. They call me dad.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to, on Father's Day, actual Father's Day, I will be spending some time with my father, and I'm going to keep the subject matter very neutral.
Non-political,
non-religious. He says he's got something very important he wants to talk to me about. Unfortunately, I already know what it is that he wants to talk to me about. But I'm gonna let him do him.
Oh, there you
go. There's nothing
It's something that's gonna piss your sister plumb off.
It shouldn't fucking matter.
Right.
Because if it involves me, it shouldn't matter what the fuck it does to her. But
is it what we were talking about a year or so ago?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. How she wanted it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, at 51 years on this earth, there is absolutely nothing that my father will tell me that is going to catch me off guard.
Right.
I mean, at 81, 2 years old, at 82 years old, my dad is not going to tell me anything that's going to shock me.
Unless he had put money aside that's been drawing interest for years, and now it's worth over $2 million, and it's going to be all yours once he passes.
Nope.
That wouldn't shock you?
Nope.
Okay. Well, just remember us little people if that happens.
Shit. you don't think that J&M Solve the World would have a fucking full-blown studio?
Yeah.
Hell, I'd probably even hire a fucking producer.
There you go.
So I wouldn't have to fucking edit anymore.
It's like, hey, are you tired of getting greasy for a living?
No.
No.
I would want somebody that had nothing to do with the family.
Mm.
So it's very down the middle. It's hey, this is what we want.
That way, if
Make
you
it
have
happen.
firing,
Yeah.
or her.
Right. I mean, because
It's like, Matt, we need to fire Lisa. And you'd be like, yeah, but look at those titties. Like, you're going to get us both in trouble.
well, on Father's Day, we've got to give it up to our fathers because they were persistent. Because more than likely, our mothers were not in the mood. And our pops were like, nah, fam, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Skeet.
My dad would have been like, okay, I've been on the milk route all week. Worked my ass off. I've got a little bit of energy now. We're doing this.
Yeah.
Because, well, actually, no. Yes, he was still been on the milk. No.
So what you're saying is your dad was the milkman.
Yeah.
Your dad always rang twice.
See, that's what my mom always talked about. She goes, everybody's like, something about the milkman visiting. She goes, I married the milkman. But I can't remember. I'm trying to remember the exact dates now because he quit.
Oh, wrong button.
Wrong button.
Wait, damn it. No. There we go. That's the one. Yeah.
But because he had hauled milk before World War II, then he was in World War II, and after he got out, hauled milk up until 1965. So, depending on when that happened, because I was born in 66. So, I don't know if he was still hauling milk at that point or if he was hauling grain.
Well, and with you being born in 66 and the third child in the family, you weren't holy shit, we've got to get married, baby.
No. It was probably, holy shit, you're what?
Because I don't know.
I accused myself. I was a oops, wasn't I? Because I was born 15 years after my
Gary.
closest brother.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you weren't. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure a 39-year-old woman and a 46-year-old man were going, let's have another baby.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Now,
Who knows?
not to say that they weren't still knocking the boots, but because your family's not Catholic,
No.
so
No. Would
contraceptives were available.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember finding condoms in the trash or nothing, but
But then again, as a baby, if you're going through the trash looking for condoms,
well, never seen nothing laying around. Let's put it that way.
well, by then they were probably like, "Fuck it, Let's get in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Probably like, I think I've already went through the change. Nope. Which was kind of fortunate for me because I had a different relationship with my dad than either Gary or Herbie.
Right.
Because Herbie was born in 46 or 47. So,
Holy shit.
yeah.
Your brother is 4 years younger than my dad.
Right. But he was born in 47. Dad was 2 years out of World War II.
Okay.
So he probably had some major PTSD going on.
Shell shock.
Shell shock.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Gary was born in 51. 4 years later. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Still probably having some issues from the war and everything. Very
Could
strict.
you imagine if your mom, and I don't know why this thought just popped to my head, probably because I've already drank one of these. Your mom and dad were like your dad was leaving handprints on your mom's ass.
Mhm.
Just ow. I mean, your dad was probably like, bam, 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 like both hands, like both sides.
Mhm.
And the fucked up part about it is you can't think of your parents, at least myself. I can't think of my parents being that way
Mhm.
because looking back on it, yeah, my mom wasn't that big when I was younger,
Right.
but she always seemed big.
Right.
Like, you know, obviously bigger than what she was whenever she passed, but I'm just like, you know, you want to think of your parents doing just vanilla sex.
Right.
You know, never got past page 1 of the Karma Sutra.
Strictly missionary.
Oh God, yes.
With the covers over them.
I mean, we're talking like Mormon. They're wearing the white
the Jesus underwear.
yeah,
Yeah.
to where it's just an opening for the penis or the penis, if you will, and an opening for the vagine.
Definitely no manscaping or trimming back then.
It was let's see here. How did Eddie Murphy or was it Eddie Murphy? No, Sam Kinison. Your mom probably looked like she had buckwheat and a leg lock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that shit was like fucking.
Did you see that deal I shared on Facebook the other day? It showed these hot chicks from the 80s with the big hair and skimpy outfits. And it said, hey kids, this is how your grandma looked back in the 80s and some of your grandfathers.
Fuck. Hey, you got that one right.
But no, by the time I came along, I mean, Dad was still really strict. You know, it was, you know, I never had a curfew, but he was just a strict, harsh man.
Right.
But he had to retire when I was like 9. I think I've told this story many times
Yeah.
on here.
Yeah.
But we were like best friends. You know, we fished all over. We hunted and done all that stuff and started going to the wrestling matches. That's what really got me into the wrestling thing, was because, fuck, when you go see it in person, it's way different than watching it on TV.
You know, and
whereas Herbie said when he joined the Air Force, he called home one time, and Dad said, "Oh, and by the way, I broke your dinner plate. You're a guest from now on."
you know, everybody talks about that. My mom used to talk about that like when I was in high school. Oh, when they turn 18, I break their dinner plate and they no longer live here and they're guests and blah, blah, blah. Well, for myself, I still had a semester of high school left after I turned 18.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
I had almost the whole year because I turned 18
yes,
in October.
yes, yes.
But it was kind of funny. I didn't move out right away because Dad and I was doing body work here in the old
Yeah,
barn. And when I did move out, they didn't want me to move
right.
out because I was the last one. And it was like,
Well, that probably meant that if you moved out, oh, excuse me,
mm,
then they would have to start talking to each other.
it could have been. Well, Mom told me when Dad had to retire, she said it was a major adjustment. Him being home all the time because she was used to him, when he hauled milk,
Yeah,
was on the road at 5 o'clock in the morning and not back until that evening.
yeah,
But then when he started hauling grain, during harvest, we didn't see him for days on end.
right.
We'd go up to Tyndall's or MFA and meet him up there and might spend the night in the sleeper, you know.
My stepmom, when my dad got off the road, when I was living with him, and he went to work for a construction company up there,
Mm-hmm.
and he was their heavy equipment hauler.
Mm-hmm.
He drove the low boys, delivering the big equipment to the construction sites and all. Yeah, I mean there was a very adjustment period there,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad drank a lot.
Nah.
Like the house they
Excuse me.
lived in Raymore, my bedroom was on the back side of the house, and from your back door to the curve in Amanda's driveway,
Mm-hmm.
that was the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've got another yard on the other side, and it was the blue and yellow light or the blue and red lights in front of the house bouncing off that house into my window that woke me up when uh, my dad ran into the tree next door
Oh shit.
in a 1973 Fury 3.
Mm.
So, I mean, he didn't get hurt,
Right.
but it was just the fact that the next door neighbor's tree, which is right on our property line in the front
Mm-hmm.
yard,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But yeah, Pops pretty much quit drinking really soon after that. And there was the big change coming off of the road
Oh yeah, I bet.
to where you're home every night.
Yeah.
And I mean it was very different for me growing up without a dad in the house. And it's like the only time I was around my dad is when I was in Kansas City visiting.
Mm.
And my dad did his best, but for the longest time he was an over the road trucker.
Mm-hmm.
My younger brother hated going out on the road with him. My older brother, God, I can't remember when he stopped going to dad's with us, but I always loved going out on the road with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was because we would stop at like 76 in the morning, truck stops,
Uh-huh.
76.
Right.
And that's when we'd get breakfast.
Right.
And I'd get to feel like I'm a man,
Right.
even though she's bringing me out a mug of hot chocolate with whipped cream like way up over the top.
You
But
wasn't you wasn't drinking that trucker coffee?
fuck no. And I blame my pops for the reason why I can't drink coffee today.
Because he drank trucker coffee. I mean, if you put some sugar in it, your spoon would dissolve. Or you could stand it up in it.
My dad said that if you put anything in your coffee, you might as well just be drinking chocolate milk.
Mm-hmm.
And when we started carrying Black Rifle coffee, when I ran the gun shop, I tried it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so fucking bitter. And by the
There's-
time you add enough sugar and cream to get it to where it's not as bitter, fuck. With the amount of money I've just poured into this single cup of coffee in sugar and cream, fuck it, I could have got a Monster.
Well, I used to be that way because I drank iced tea all the time.
Yeah, you did. Instant iced tea.
Instant iced tea. Yep.
Yep.
And but when I drank coffee, it was usually like after, especially after the bars closed, then we'd go down to Shoney's and have breakfast, and I'd get coffee, kind of sober up a little bit before we drive home.
This is when you would go to Springfield,
Yeah,
not when the bar,
not the Southern
the
Star.
bar would close. Yeah.
Right. Me and a friend of mine, Joe, who I seen just the other day for the first time in like 5 years. We'd go up to the bottom line. The Lefty Brothers were playing up there,
Okay.
and a lot of college girls hung out there. So,
What?
Yeah.
College girls in Springfield?
Yeah.
No.
In fact, you've heard of the Sugar Bears, the
Yes.
dance group?
Yes.
There were several of them that hung out there all the time. Yeah. But anyway, we'd leave there, and just down Battlefield was Shoney's.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd stop in at Shoney's and get breakfast buffet, and I'd always get a coffee, but I'd put 4 sugars in it and a creamer. And that's how I drank coffee for years. But then now, I don't drink, just black. But I agree, there's nothing that smells better than the coffee aisle at the grocery store.
Now,
Especially if,
Right.
if they got a place where you can grind your own beans and stuff.
yeah.
But coffee does not taste the way it smells.
No, because I love the smell of a pot of fresh brewed coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't stand the taste of it. And my dad, still to this day, will make several pots of coffee throughout the day. And the pot could be in the coffee maker for 4 hours. It's like damn near cold. And he'll pour a cup, put it in the microwave, heat it back up, and he'll drink it. And it's like,
Yeah, I mean,
did you replace nicotine with caffeine?
if I drink the last cup and I'm done, I'll go ahead and make another pot and turn the burner off. So Ann will have coffee in the morning.
Okay.
Because that's what she does. She pours it in, microwaves it. Yep. I told her, I said, they have things called,
Timer?
no, it's not a timer on a bun.
You mean not when you bought yours?
Not when I bought mine. Yeah.
Right.
But,
Oh, that's right, because now it's like everybody's gone to a Keurig or a K-Cup or...
yeah. There's a new one they talk about on Bob and Tom all the time. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's
Where you
it's a
just-
bar.
you
It makes drinks.
No. You take hot water or cold water, you peel the tab, you pour it in, stir it up. It looks like a Keurig cup, but it's supposed to be coffee.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. I done a price thing on coffee one time, because when you buy coffee, it's like, God damn, this shit's getting high. But if you break it down per cup,
Yeah.
a cup of coffee costs like 5 cents.
Did you hear that Gen Z is going to start doing becoming at-home baristas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because coffee is getting so expensive.
Well, yeah, you go to Starbucks and shit. But like I say, if you buy,
Well, I mean, the fact that you can make a chai latte, soy milk, double, excuse me, double shot at home.
hmm but I mean, just a regular, if you buy Folgers, which is a name brand,
Yes,
or Maxwell House, or whatever.
Sanka.
That was the instant coffee. That was some real nasty shit. You want to try some nasty fucking coffee? I tried that when I was a kid. I was like, ooh, but
That's what came in the MREs, and guys would use it like dip when I was in boot camp, and they'd put it back in their cheek to sit there and suck on and get all the caffeine and shit. And I'm like, "Ugh." But then again, we also had somebody find a couple of cigarettes in our MRE. And at the time, I'm like, fuck. Because you could see like all the tobacco in the filter and everything. Or not the filter, but the paper,
Oh, yeah.
because they were non filtered. And then I get to Afghanistan, you know, and I'm like, these things fucking suck.
you guys didn't get Camel non-filters in your pack? I mean, I think that was an essential in World War II.
My dad smoked
Or Palm
Camel non filters when he drove the truck when I was with him. And then it's like next time I'd go out on the road with him, he's smoking a pipe. And then the next time I go out on the road with him, he's smoking cigars. And the house in Raymore had
Tried to find his niche.
no,
Oh.
no, it was just like how much more nicotine can I get? It had the brick that went around the whole house, like right by the door handle. And he would smoke on a cigar, and then once he'd get to the house, he'd lay it in the mortar between the two bricks.
Right.
It could fucking rain, it could storm, but as long as it was dry, when he came out, he'd grab it and light it right the fuck back up. And it's like, damn. We were coming back from Sturgis in 2009, and Dad's little bag on his windshield, he had a bag of Red Man. He grabbed a little pinch, stick it back in his cheek, and my brother's buddy was like, well, how do you spit? And Dad just looked at him and said, spit. That's the good part. So we're rolling from Rapid City, South Carolina, or Rapid City, South Dakota, to hell, almost to the Missouri border, and Dad's just sucking on a chaw.
Right. I could do Redman or Levi Garrett or something like that today. I'd probably get a little lightheaded, but I'm definitely spitting.
Oh fuck yeah!
But don't even come near me with Skoal or fucking Kodiak or none of that fucking snuff shit. Ugh.
So my first experience, and I know this doesn't have anything to do with the Father's Day special, but
I could make it have something to do with
well,
Father's Day.
as fathers ourselves, it does. Somebody in the neighborhood had Silver Creek, and I took a pinch of that, and I got lightheaded as shit, and I'm just like, oh, because my uncle Danny was dipping Gold River. And I think Gold River was like the snuff where Silver Creek was the actual dip, like Skull. Gold
actual-
River was
actual
more like Copenhagen.
snuff?
Well, it was more like Copenhagen.
Mhm,
And Copenhagen has always been snuff,
mhm.
but people don't.
Not like they did back in the 1800s with snuff. They'd have their little snuff tin.
Fuck.
And
I had guys when I was in the Marine Corps,
Mhm.
in the actual fleet, were doing snuff.
Mm,
And they were, it was the,
yeah.
oh, God.
Now it's smelling salts.
God. But I swear I got so fucking sick. But then when I was in the Marine Corps, I started dipping Kodiak, but I was still smoking as at the same time. So I was like, I would dip for so long and then throw the dip out, wash my mouth out, and immediately light a cigarette.
Mhm.
So I was like, fucking, I didn't have blood running through my veins. It was just all straight nicotine.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was fucking hairy.
I got a skull story I can tell about fathers. Back when I was in, oh God, this would have been probably.
Wait, I think I can do this. No,
Yep, 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 yep.
no. There we go. Back in time.
Back in time.
Yes.
Probably it had to probably be my sophomore year, my junior or sophomore year.
In high school?
Yeah.
Fuck, what was that, 1885?
No, I graduated 1885. No. I had first hour. We had first hour PE class, and we had some old ball fields, softball fields, out behind the junior high,
Okay.
and we never brought a ball and glove and everything. We'd hit walnuts because there's walnut trees out there, but we'd always chew some snuff. Well, our good friend Rio gets in a fight one day with this guy. He hollered something at Drill, and Drill said, "What'd you say, motherfucker?" And he came on, and they started fighting. Well, they ended up getting called to the principal's office. No, I take that back. It wouldn't have been sophomore. I had been like 8th grade because it was junior high.
Damn.
So
Now we're going back to like Civil War time.
exactly. So we go on to PE class. They get taken to the principal's office, and we're in PE class, and all of a sudden we hear, "Well, James Stewart, Brian Burchett, no, it wasn't Drill that got in the fight. It was my friend Roy Kirkster that got in the fight. That's what it was. Drill was innocent on this one of the few times. But anyway, they called us all to the principal's office. And the principal said, "You know why I called you guys in here?" And we're like, "No, we weren't fighting."
I'll play your silly game. Why did you call us all in
It's
here?
like, well, because so-and-so here, the guy that Roy got in the fight with, said you guys are all chewing before class on school property. So I'll have to call your parents. And I'm thinking, fuck, I'm dead. My dad is going to fucking kill me. And he calls Roy's parents first. And he tells him, it's like, yeah, Roy was fighting at school and da-da-da-da-da. So we're going to put him in in-school suspension for a couple days, whatever. And then he hung up the phone. He goes, "You boys notice I didn't say anything about the chewing?" Yeah. He goes, "Let that be a warning." Okay. It's like, because that's the reason I didn't get in any fights in school, except for one at Votech, but that's a different story. But
Votech was a whole different fucking animal
yeah.
altogether.
But because I wasn't worried about the punishment I was going to get at school. It was when I got home and had to face Dad.
Mm-hmm.
It would have probably been one of them deals. Did you start it? No, sir. Did you finish it? Yes, sir. Good. You know.
when Chris, Vez, and I got kicked out for a week for showing up to school drunk.
Mm-hmm.
So Vez gave the bullshit answer. Well, I don't know my dad's number at work because he knew, with his dad being a post Vietnam Marine,
Yeah.
he would have fucked him up. And my mom worked right across the street at Douglas. Douglas Manor, I think it was called, but it was a nursing home.
Okay.
Right across the street from the high school in Buffalo.
Uh-huh.
And they called Gary. And of course, Gary got there before my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom walks in and just slams the fucking door open. And the principal and like everybody was on like notice as soon as my mom walked in. And she played the part. She was pissed. But she was pissed because I got caught and she got called out of work.
Mm.
But I didn't get punished
Mm.
because my mom did the same thing and she didn't want to be a hypocrite.
Mm.
And what I think is really funny is your brother claimed that your nephew, one of my closest and dearest friends, could not hang out with us
Mm-hmm.
any longer. Yeah. Chris went out to Vez's place to help him dig a 6 by 6 by 6 inch hole.
Foot.
Yes, foot hole to fill it back in and to dig another one.
Mm-hmm.
While I went to work at Sonic for their lunch rush.
Yeah.
I
always got the do as I say, not as I do.
My mom tried that. She really did. She would ground me for shit, and then she would have her friends over, and they'd be sitting around drinking coffee and everything. And it made it a point to like sit on her lap and be very lovey-dovey and kiss on her and hug on her. So much so that she would lose her fucking cool and say, "Get the fuck out of here!" And I'm like, "But Mom, I'm grounded. I can't go anywhere. You're not grounded anymore. Just get the fuck out of here." I'm like, "Well, okay."
Okay. Okay.
But you know, it's anyways. I digress from talking about my mom. But
It's Father's Day, not Mother's Day.
yes, my dad, like I can count on one hand how many times I've ever been spanked
Mm-hmm.
by my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're both Gen Xers,
Mm-hmm.
and our parents, our fathers, your dad was the greatest generation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, no, wait, when was your dad born?
18.
No, I think your dad was the silent generation.
Yeah. 'Cause
My dad
he
was the greatest
'cause He was
generation.
a little old, actually. I think he was
Yeah.
like 25 when he went into World War II.
Because I think my dad was still part of the greatest generation. And then my mom was a boomer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my dad, one of the things that my dad would do that would just cut me to the core, and he could still do it to this day.
Mm-hmm.
At 82 years old, and I'm 51, The man can still look at me and say, I'm disappointed in you, son.
Mm-hmm.
And that's enough to fucking just
Yeah.
cut me to the fucking core.
Just make you feel about that big.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is a lot to say because my dad swears up and down he's 5'4".
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that my dad was real good at that too. There's only 2 times I can remember him striking me in any way.
Mm-hmm.
And one when I was a little bitty guy. We still lived in the old house.
Wow.
And Herbie and Linda was in for a visit, and Colleen and I were playing. We were little kids, and Dad had told me to go to bed. And I had selective hearing. I didn't hear him. The next thing I know, he poops me in the ass and said, I said, get to bed. I went to bed.
Yes, sir.
Then next time I was a little older and I dropped a watermelon trying to be cute and carry it on my shoulder. And he slapped me in the face and said, I want to see you for an hour. Okay. So I went out and I hid behind the chicken house and I looked at my little digital watch. About 5 minutes later, he come looking for me. Stuck his head in the chicken house and got stung on the tip of his ear by a red wasp. Then he found me sitting around the corner. He's like, come on back in the house, son. And we had watermelon. but like you say, he could dress you down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and,
and make you think that something you thought was going to be cool. Time he got done with, he's like, "Boy, that was the stupidest fucking idea I ever had."
So I had just finished up with a track meet, and I had to get to work when I lived with my dad. So it's my stepmom driving her Monty SS, my dad and his Fury 3, and me and my Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
And Dad's fucking just putting along.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, fuck this motherfucker. And I pass him, and I'm just fucking flying down School Road. And at this time, it was chip and seal.
Mm-hmm.
I get to the house. I'm able to shower, put on my uniform, and get to work before he even gets home. He gets home, and then yeah. Next day, my car keys are taken away from me, and he just looks at me and he says, "I'm disappointed in you, son." And looking back on it, yeah, I shouldn't have passed him on School Road. That was a dumbass move on my own part.
Right.
I should have just went out to J Highway and went that way, but I was a dumbass.
Yeah, males' brains don't fully form until about 25, and sometimes not even then.
Do you know why? A man can actually sit around and think of nothing, and a woman could never pick a place to eat.
Why?
A man can sit around and think about nothing because he's got 2 heads. So you can turn one off while the other one is still on.
There you go.
And a woman can never choose a place to eat because the last time a woman did got us all banned from the Garden of Eden.
Yep, there you go.
How long have we been going? 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not bad.
It's not bad. No.
We've rambled on.
We have.
That's okay.
But I gotta say, for myself, I am very thankful that I still have my pops around. I don't go see him as much as I should, but
It's called life.
well, yeah, and I know I don't talk to him as much, but the job that I have, and I'm not blaming it on the job,
Yeah.
but the job
that's-
that I have, I do talk a lot to a lot of different people.
Mhm.
And when I get off work, all I want to do is, believe it or not talk to anybody.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, they called me.
You've used your allotted words for the day.
Oh my God. When I was a youngin', they used to call me Motor Mouth
Mm-hmm.
because I would talk 100 miles a minute
Mm-hmm.
about anything and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But
No. Seriously?
but I used to love going out on the road with my dad
Mhm.
and seeing the United States through a windshield or a side window. But going down the interstate, I would always pretend that there was a guy on a dirt bike next to us,
Oh yeah.
and he'd hit the culvers or he'd go up like the roads that are carved out of the stone, and
Mhm.
he's riding up on top,
Mhm,
and then he'd come down and jump over and do a tabletop, and then they come down, and yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking as I'm sitting outside, sitting on the passenger side, just kind of.
I've had those too, sitting in the passenger side watching out, because I think part of it is if the sun's in the right place,
Mm-hmm.
your car's making that shadow
Yes.
go over all that stuff, and
Yep.
you start imagining, like say, a guy on a bike
Yes.
or something like that. Yeah.
Even when Dad had a truck that didn't have AC, we'd have the windows down, and I'm just sitting there like got my hand out, and I'm all doing
Oh,
this
yeah.
number, and then I'm like, okay, and I put my hand like this, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh yeah.
yeah.
Did you ever stick your head out the window and go, "Oh, I can't breathe out here"? Pull your head back in.
No,
But
there was a time that my dad loves to talk about. We were out rolling down the road, and I opened the door to go pee, and
going down the road.
yes, and Dad's trying to reach across the cab to hold on to me, so I'm not falling out.
So is this his idea because he didn't want to stop, or did you just decide you had to pee?
Well, no, Dad would have a glass Gatorade bottle
Mm-hmm.
because there would be times that he would use it when
Right.
when he had the cigar box of the co-driver, if you will. I'm just gonna
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he would take that 32-ounce glass Gatorade bottle
Mm-hmm.
and pee in the Gatorade bottle while he's driving down the road,
Oh yeah.
and then dump it out.
On a convertible, as it goes by. Oh.
I mean, I can't confirm nor deny, but I can remember this.
Them two bitches didn't want to stop at the fucking truck stop, so fuck them.
I didn't get to see no fucking titties. There was
Not from the passenger side. You wasn't going to.
no
Damn it.
motherfuckers.
That'd have been kind of interesting to go back in the 70s and be a truck driver.
I watch movies like Convoy,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, you got different women and different fucking truck stops, and but
Lot lizards.
well, no, Chris Christopherson,
Mm-hmm.
Duck had that chick at that one truck stop
Mm-hmm.
who was like his, and how many other truck stops across America did he have chicks like that?
All of them.
Well, yeah, because he's Chris Christopherson. He's one of the highwaymen. But I gotta say that I love my pops. And I love that I am called dad.
Mhm.
I will get to see my daughter here in a couple of days. And I just gotta say, I mean, I really wish they would move down this
Mhm.
way
Right.
because I know there's better jobs and I'd get to see her more.
Mhm.
But then that would mean that she would miss her mom and her
Mhm.
sister and
They all live up there.
yeah,
Yeah.
they all live in Minnesota.
Well, maybe she could move to like, um, Omaha, or not Omaha. Fuck, what am I thinking?
Des Moines.
Des Moines. They'd be kind of splitting the difference that way.
Yeah, because it would only be 3 hours
Yeah, because it's
instead of 6.5.
right up through the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But her mom doesn't drive at night.
She goes see her mom.
Yeah. I'm waiting to see them drive to Illinois
Mm.
because that'll be the longest road trip that either one of them have ever had driving.
The two kids?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
How old are they now?
Alicia's 23. Scott is 22 or will be 22.
Oh, okay.
Um,
But would Des Moines put them about halfway between where they
yeah.
live in Minnesota and Kansas City?
Well, and Scott,
Just get on 35, right?
right. And Scott's working for the post office.
Mm.
He's got himself a government job.
Mm-hmm. Doge didn't cut him?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
No. No, he wasn't a postmaster general.
No. Okay.
He's only a mail handler.
Ah, there you go. Great
But
gig if you can get it.
yes.
I don't know how long Dario drove as an assistant mail carrier before he finally got on full time.
Now, unfortunately, last year we made up a new drink called Not Your Daddy's Peanut Butter Cup. This year we are not doing a special drink
Right.
because I still think Not Your Daddy's Peanut Butter Cup sets really well. There's no reason to change it.
And if you don't like that, heavy glass of scotch, heavy glass of bourbon, heavy glass of tequila.
Ooh. And if you're going to have a glass of tequila, like we have said before, and I'm not going to put words in James's mouth, but the best tequila that you can have on your own is the Don Julio 1942.
You don't have to put words in. I can verify from the tequilas I've had. There may be one better, but that shit is fucking smooth as shit. For a non-flavored,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Our other favorite tequila, it's a liqueur.
Yes.
This is a
Agavero.
straight tequila.
Right. But there you go, folks. I know we have rambled on about different things, but this is our Father's Day special. And instead of
And thankfully to our fans out there,
yes.
we didn't wear the shorts our fathers did back in the 70s.
Yeah. Hell, we didn't wear the shorts that our fathers did in their teens, trying to play basketball in shorty shorts.
Well, you remember the 70s, those little gym short deals?
Yeah.
And yeah.
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 Wilt is stilt.
And
Hell, they wore those into the 80s.
yeah.
It wasn't until like the late 80s did
I
they
had
actually.
some,
Yeah.
but I didn't have 50-year-old balls. That's what I'm talking about. When they had their tidy whities that weren't so tidy anymore, and
Nobody had ever heard of a ball hammock.
or a bullpen underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I know I'll be taking a moment to visit with my father on Father's Day. I know I'm going to get a text from at least one of my daughters tomorrow, but all are welcome. But
Here's to the Padres, not the baseball team.
right,
The fathers.
salud.
Salud. Here's to my father in heaven.
We're not going to pour one out.
To all the fathers out there, Kevin Sharp, if you happen to be listening, happy Father's Day to you.
Skinny, you know who I'm talking about. I still don't understand how your son, who is still in high school, is 8 inches taller than you, 8 or 9.
Jeez.
Skinny's 6 foot. His son, who is now I believe a junior in high school, is like 6'9".
How tall is Mama?
Mom is like 5'7", 5'8".
So she's a fairly tall woman.
Right. But Skinny's adopted,
So
he doesn't know his bloodline. He just knows that he's got this kid.
He may be the run of the litter.
Yeah, he's got this kid that's eating them out of house and home.
Right.
And who is perfectly fine driving a Nissan Civic.
Be like seeing Kevin Nash get out of a Civic.
Brian Shaw, 6'8", 420 pounds. Eddie the Beast Hall, 6'2", 400 pounds. They both fit into a smart car.
Do they do like on Police Academy and he yanks the front seat out and they sit in the back?
There's no back seat in a fucking smart car.
That's true. That's true.
But
About every car I get into to pull around into the shop,
yep,
the first thing I have to do is go, and I'm 6'1", 6'1 and a half, something like that. I'm like, geez, all these motherfuckers so short.
anytime I drive my brother's work car
Oh yeah.
or his personal Jeep XJ, first thing I do is, seat goes back. And I'm only, then my younger brother, I'm only about 3 inches taller. But it's like, I've got to put the seat so far fucking back than he does.
He might be like one of them Mark Martin guys and likes to be up on the wheel.
No,
No. Just got short arms. Got T-Rex arms.
Because I'll scoot the seat back in order to get my legs in, but then I get in and I'm like fucking, like I'm barely seeing over the fucking steering wheel because he's laying down.
Oh, so he drives like a cholo.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to ask all the time, hey, man, you think I'm driving? And I got to tell him, dude, I think you're parked.
I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. Is that you, Pedro de Pacas? That's what it says on the license, right?
Isn't it back there on the back of the car, man? But you know what, folks? I got to give to my brothers AJ, Tony, happy Father's Day. To my brother Terry, happy Father's Day. To Garrett, Sobe, Jake, who is a new, recently father, to Shauna and Jenny for stepping up for not having the fathers for your children. There's plenty more out there
Oh,
that
yeah.
I could
Yeah.
fucking
I
name.
mean, I could name my brother Herb,
Yep.
my nephew Howie, my nephew Chris. And like you say, shout out to Amanda for being both
Oh,
mother and father for her two sons.
and
And the list goes on. If I didn't mention your name, I'm sorry, but happy Father's Day to all of you.
I gotta say, I loved getting the Happy Father's Day text from Cody,
Mm-hmm.
your grandson,
Mm-hmm.
which is part of the whole joke
Right.
that involves his younger brother and his mom. But he did wish me a Happy Father's Day. And not just a Happy Father's Day, but he did add the word dad in
Right.
there.
Oh, and a shout out to Cody,
Oh,
because and thank you so much for the gifts you guys made me. That
yes.
is so cool. You and Angie and George. But to Cody, who is being a father to little George, I swear to God, if you didn't know he really wasn't George's father, you look at George's picture and you look at Cody's face, you would swear that that was his kid. But shout out to you, Cody, for stepping up and being a man there, buddy.
My brother AJ and my nephew Gavin, they're not blood related,
Mm-hmm.
but AJ is the only dad that Gavin's ever known,
Right.
and they look so much alike.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't met Gavin, but
Yeah.
knowing your brother and seeing the pictures, I'm like,
Oh no, you met Gavin
oh, that's right.
at
When they all come down,
the
yeah,
the cookout.
yeah. That's right.
Yeah, they left before everything kind of fucking
Fell apart.
shit hit the fan.
Yeah. Which was lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They hit up all the tri-tip,
Right.
had some good whiskey, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta
We gotta get back to Kissy.
go, guy."
That's right.
But
This is the old Southern goodbye. We've tried to do this
Yeah.
for the last 15 minutes.
you have just watched another episode of Stu Him Productions presents,
J&M, solve the world. I have been James.
and I have been Matt, and we've been coming to you live tonight from the J&M Bar and Lounge. And until next time, you keep one fist in the gold, one foot in the gutter, and we will be seeing you.
Peace.